The last and final SmackDown of 2024 is in the books. It is Friday, December 27th. It's your girl, Denise Salcedo. You're listening to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. And as always, I am joined by Robin Lundberg. Robin, what's up? How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm in the in-laws crib right now, getting over the flu, actually. I think it was the flu. Yeah.
No.
My son had the flu, so I'm assuming whatever it was that I was feeling was also fluish, but it is what it is. You gotta battle through. You gotta climb that ladder to get over it and grab that metaphorical championship, right?
Yes, I was going to say, well, thank you so much for still doing the show, even though you're under the weather and you're also someplace else. So thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, you know what really was annoying? More an obstacle than how I felt to this was I'm here, right? And this TV up here did not have USA Network, which is the weirdest thing I've
What?
ever heard of. Yeah. So then I'm scrambling to load it on my computer and I'm locked out of my Verizon account. So
Oh, I
I'm
hate when that happens.
so then I start watching the beginning of the show on my phone. And then I go downstairs and the TV there, which is the same network as the one here, has it. So I watch the first few minutes on my phone, but I'm like panicking because I'm like, oh, I don't want to leave Denise out high and dry, but I can't really do a SmackDown show if I can't watch SmackDown. And I just figured there's no television that doesn't have USA Network.
You know what I think it might be? Do you have the big main cable box in the living room and then the little box in the other room that you were at?
I don't know how their boxes work.
Because well, that's one thing that I do know that sometimes the channels are different. If it's like the big box has all the channels, but if you only have the
Oh,
little one, it doesn't have all the same channels. So I think that's the only thing I can think of that
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 makes
could be the
sense.
reason.
I'm not in the main room where the main box
Yes.
is. And I went down where the main box was, and it did have the other channels. So that's you solved it. But I was like totally like, what the hell? I'm like like violently scrolling through because at home I have it set to record, right? So if I'm a few minutes late, I can catch up through the commercials. But I'm scrambling like, oh no, what's going on in the beginning? But all is well. I'm here. I saw the show.
Yes. Okay, good. We're glad we figured that out. We got Anthony Giuliano here, by the way, that kicks us off with our first super chat saying, how was everyone's Christmas? Did you get any WWE gifts? I actually did not get anything wrestling related whatsoever. I didn't even get any Taylor Swift gifts either. But I think the reason why is because if it's Taylor Swift related or wrestling related, I'll probably just go out and buy it myself if I wanted to. What about you,
Ye
Robin?
Raj got some WWE trading cards as part of the collections, and they're collector's cards, so there were some pretty good ones in there. I didn't get any wrestling related gifts, but I think I'm wearing this. Can you see the Yeet?
I get. Oh, there you go. Yeet City, New York.
Yeah,
Nice.
New Yeet City from Fanatics Fest. Um, yeah, but that was the trading cards were the big wrestling related gift in the household.
I love that, man. Hell yeah. Well, Merry Christmas, Anthony, and I hope you had a good one. We got Kevin Zwicker here who says Chelsea Green is the breakout start of the year in WWE for sure. Look forward to all the content both of you are cooking up for 2025. Thank you so much, man. I'm ready. I'm excited. I feel like both Robin and I got big plans for 2025 and goals that we hope to accomplish, as everybody here does too, I assume. So, man, I can't wait for the new year. I always get excited around this time of year. Like you always feel like it's a blank slate, right? Like you get to start all over sort of deal.
Yeah, I've been feeling my influence lately too. Like I've had people writing articles up about what I say on YouTube. And also, I mean, that's a good one. That's more positive. I've also had people literally steal my YouTube videos, put an effect on my voice, and then put me under B-roll and upload it as originals. There's also a TikTok account that is only clips of me that doesn't give me credit as well, but I'm taking it all as flattery.
Just take it all as publicity. Although I know it can be sometimes a little weird. You're like, wait, why would you do that? This literally makes no sense whatsoever. But hey, at least you know that somebody cares about what you're saying and what you're doing. So take that as a pro.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not really publicity when they're totally, not
Yeah, I know.
they're
I'd be pissed.
they're
I would
masking
be
your
filing
voice.
copyrights left and right. Thank you, Kevin. All right, we got Anthony Giuliano here who says, I just got sick too. It's going around. Yeah, everybody, unfortunately. I'm good. I'm good, man. I haven't gotten sick this winter. Great. Now I'm gonna just because I said it. But Anthony,
Did something
thank you so
happen though?
much.
I saw you posting about something. What happened? You were attacked by bees, and then the power went out.
Oh,
Maybe, but maybe
no.
both.
Okay. The bees thing, no, it was not bees, wasps,
Okay.
wasps. That's what it was. There was wasps. When was that? That was on December, the first week of December. There was a wasp little house. Thankfully, my husband got it. He poisoned it, he killed it, and got rid of them. But they had gone into my house. And of course, it happened when he wasn't home. So the wasp had gone into my house, literally chased me down. It was the worst experience of my life. I started crying, Robin. It was horrible.
Mhm.
I don't even want to relive that moment. And then the power went out. Thankfully, I didn't really suffer from that, but it happened for a lot of SoCal residents. The power went out Christmas Eve. So a lot of people, unfortunately, like could not, celebrate Christmas Eve, or it ruined their Christmas day because there was some sort of an explosion in one of the nearby Edison plants. And so like 40,000 people were left without power or any electricity. And for me, the only really thing that it affected me was there was no street lights at all, which was so weird.
Yeah.
But other than that, everything else, like for the most part, was fine. So I couldn't really complain about that one.
I was stung by a dead wasp once.
Oh,
Um,
hell no.
I stepped on a dead
Oh,
wasp with a bare foot, and I also was stung by a bee in the mouth because it was in my soda, and I drank it. Yeah.
no. No. Okay, see, Robbie, you need to know this about me. I am terrified of bugs and insects and all of that. So when I hear or see stuff like this, like right now, my face is burning. Hearing you
Mm.
talk about this and me talking about this, my face here, it's burning.
See, I'm the one. I try to save the insects because I don't like taking lives of any kind. So
Oh.
I'm always like, everybody else is freaking out, kill the bug, and I'm trying to procure
No,
it and
you're
and,
one of those. I
and give
hate
it
that,
freedom.
Robin. I hate that. I'm like, sorry. I know everyone. I'm sorry. I love animals. I'm a big giraffe person. Kill the
A
damn
big
bug.
giraffe.
I don't care. I don't care. Kill the bug.
Why giraffes specifically?
I love giraffes. They're my favorite. I was just talking about them like 10 minutes ago. So for me, I'm like, save all the animals. Yes, but kill the bugs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry, but I can't. I can't. All right, everyone. We got to get into SmackDown. So let's do this. Here we go. What went down on today's show? I want to go ahead and kick things off with the biggest thing, which is what closed off the show, which was, first of all, we got to give some shout outs to Sami Zayn, dude, because Sami Zayn is constantly hustling, man. He was in a main event a couple weeks ago against Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. Today, he's out there working against Carmelo Hayes. All of that was really great stuff. That was one thing that happened on the show that we'll get to in a minute. But what I do want to kick things off with, is the actual confrontation between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. That was the thing that I was kind of getting mixed up on. But Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, they have this confrontation because Kevin Owens has the winged eagle belt. He took it from Cody. Nick Aldis is trying to get him back. He threatened him. He said, if you don't give this championship back, I'm gonna not have you ever welcomed back here in a WWE ring, right? So of course, Kevin Owens is like, no, I don't want to give this belt back. In fact, I want a rematch. So we are going to be getting a ladder match for the title, Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes at the Royal Rumble. And when I first heard this, I was like, damn, that seems like forever from now. But someone pointed out it's just 5 weeks away. So even though it feels like a long time, because that's when they said Royal Rumble, I thought, really? Till the Royal Rumble? I felt like we could have done this on next week's SmackDown, to be honest. But I get it. Royal Rumble, cool. This is our first big match that we got announced for the show. Obviously, aside from the men's and women's annual Rumble match. But what did you make of them scheduling this match for the Rumble?
Well, I was kind of with you there for a second. I was like, oh, the first 3 hour SmackDown, they're going to do it big like they are about to do with the first Raw, right? Like, let's give SmackDown some of that attention, some of that love. So I was with you there. I'm not going to be too disappointed about it, though. Like, I get it. And the ladder match stipulation adds a little spice to it. It worked. Like, when you hear ladder match, you got excited. When you heard Cody even tease ladder match, I think you got excited. So, as much as the KO and Cody feud, like you might have thought it was at its end. I did like the pile driver spot. That was well done. I did like Cody's performance tonight. He really sold it. He really delivered it. And KO's done a good job in this role. So I'm not going to complain. And I'd like to give a shout out to somebody who probably won't get as much attention in the midst of this. Nick Aldis really does a terrific job in his role.
He's the best GM that they have, hands down.
Yeah, he's just so because it's such an easy role to look like a peon in, right? Because
To look
you're
like an idiot, like, you could
yeah,
easily look like an idiot, is that you're the general manager, this corporate role. You could look like a doofus with all the wrestlers walking all over you.
yeah, and get pushed around, and even in the way he was pushed around in a sense by Cody, because he's Cody's kind of calling the shots, right? Nick Aldis still looks strong. Like won an ultimatum with Kevin Owens, like laying down the law, and then even getting physically involved in the altercation at the end. So I just wanted to give Nick Aldis a little credit because sometimes people in that role don't get the credit. But overall, I thought that was an excellent segment. I thought the show from the second the bloodline arrived till the end really, really picked up. Like that was a really excellent finish to the, not that it was bad necessarily before, but it was kind of run of the mill, I think, for the most part before. A couple of cool spots in between, which we'll get to. But I thought it really picked up, like, put the gas pedal down from the second the bloodline hit the ring. You had the Braun Strowman, Jacob Fatu thing. And then you got to this finish where the performances all around were great. And credit to Cody Rhodes. He killed it on the mic in that segment.
That's where all the meat was at. Like when you said from the bloodline onwards, that's where like most of the news from the SmackDown is going to come from. But I just want to say, I really loved Cody's portion of this promo as well. I thought he freaking killed it when he was going off about how like like he doesn't just do this for him, right? Like this isn't just for Cody. He does this for all these people. And he started like naming everybody. And then when he named Randy Orton, I thought, oh, I cannot wait till we get to that Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton feud. Like we know eventually we got to get that at some point. That has been the anticipated feud for Cody Rhodes for quite a minute now. But here's the thing: when they had said Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes were gonna, obviously rehash it out and have another matchup, I was kind of thinking like, okay, sure, like I'm excited about it, whatever. But once I found out it was gonna be a ladder match, I was thrilled about this because it's been a minute since we've seen Kevin Owens in a ladder match. It's been a longer even minute since we've seen Cody Rhodes in a ladder match. He hasn't defended his title, and correct me if I'm wrong, but for the most part, everything has been like a generic. Like there hasn't been a stipulation really for any of his matches, right? Since defending the title, because him and AJ didn't have any steps. No, like it feels like Logan and him didn't have a step. So this is like the first big one with an actual stipulation in the matchup.
And when was the last big one-on-one ladder match?
Ooh, dude. Oh, that's a good question. The last big one-on-one ladder match that we got.
Because I feel like all of them I can remember in recent times are chaotic with a bunch of
All
people
I
involved.
remember is for all that's popping into my head is the NXT ladder matches that we've gotten. Like those are the ones that here I knew this. I knew Sheldon was gonna know this. He said him versus AJ at oh yeah, I quit match. But that one was not good, by the way. Cody versus AJ in the I quit match. That was a stipulation match, but no, that one was not that good. But yeah, in terms of an actual the last singles ladder match, I don't really
Like,
remember.
especially, like, on a big level, like, I don't remember a real, because I mean, obviously, they had a ladder match at, WrestleMania, but that was tag. They had the Money in the Bank, all but that's the way it is structured. I'm drawing a blank on the last big mano a mano ladder match.
Dude, yeah, all I'm thinking right now is like more like NXT stuff. I'm remembering obviously the women's ladder match that they did this year. Obviously your Money in the Bank ladder matches. And it kind of seemed like they took a little bit of a minute on those. But yeah. All right. Let's see. Also, another stipulation match Sheldon points out was Cody versus Solo was at SummerSlam, was with the Bloodline rules, and then September 13th versus Solo in the steel cage match. Yes, that's right too. So yeah, he did have a couple of stipulation matches. All right, it kind of just didn't feel like he had many,
Well,
but
it
there
just
you
shows you
go.
some of those matches were forgettable. It's really what
Which
the
is
point.
sad, unfortunately, because I do feel like the steel cage match was good. I just didn't remember the SummerSlam mean the Bloodline rules because that SummerSlam match was horrible.
Well, and it was also all about Roman's return. So, like really what bloodline rules in some sense means here come people. you know?
Also, Larice Johnson here says that WWE just announced that the Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley match is now a last woman standing match for Netflix. Oh shit. Okay. That kind of adds to it because of course, this is now their like third match together. So, kind of adding to that is huge.
Yeah, I saw that earlier today. I mean, look, they're going to go balls to the wall. They're pulling out all the stops for that first Raw on Netflix. So you got last woman standing between Liv and Rhea, Seth and Punk, uh, Roman against Solo Sikoa, and I'm glad that stupid tribal chief championship rumor was debunked, I think, right? Like that was the stupidest thing I ever
Oh,
seen.
the championship belt?
Yeah, because the whole point of the tribal chief, status and the Ulafala is that it has the meaning within the family. It doesn't get a meaning by a title. That was always a stupid idea in my mind.
Yeah, I feel you on that. And we got Ryan Adams who's asking if it was Roman versus KO at TLC in 2021. Damn, that feels like forever ago. There's
Yeah.
had to have been something else, right? And if there hasn't, then shit, what the hell? All right, well, we'll have to go ahead and figure that out. But we do got a couple of super chats here that I do want to go ahead and pull up. Let's see, where are we at on these? All right, so this is from Sheldon Jackson who says, honestly, kind of wish WWE would move SmackDown away from Fridays with 3 hours because that is a lot, especially on Fridays when people have other things they want to do besides sitting at home watching SmackDown. Yeah, so this was something that we talked about last week, Robin, because that was when the announcement was made, was that it's not looking like the third hour is really necessary. Last week, we sat through a really rough edition of SmackDown. This week, like you said, it was the ending of SmackDown, maybe the last 30 minutes of the show that were really anything super noteworthy, versus everything else was kind of just like, it was there, it was fine, but it wasn't really anything too spectacular.
Yeah, and look, I mean, where I'm at right now, I mean, you're on the West Coast, so it's a little different. It's almost 10:30 at night. So put another hour on that. We're not wrapped till midnight, on Friday. Not as if, I mean, it doesn't really change from a plan standpoint, though. I guess I could, yeah. There have been times where we've finished and then I've gone to an event or a function and showed up late. But yeah, I mean, it does take a lot away from people who want to be there for SmackDown. Like, one, you can't do anything on a Friday. Two, you're going to be up late, and if you got to be up on early on Saturday, you might be dragging. So yeah, I get that point from Sheldon Jackson. Maybe he should write it on the chalkboard a few more times.
Yeah. No, but for me, I'm like, dude, the second I heard 3 hour SmackDowns, I was thinking immediately, okay, well, that means the post show is going to end an hour later, which means I lose an extra hour of sleep. And as everybody knows, I wake up brand spanking early on Saturdays for Busted Open. So I'm up at 5 a.m. on Saturdays. So for me, it's not the most ideal thing,
Yeah.
but I also can't skip SmackDown. So if you can skip SmackDown or you can watch the highlights, that's an option. It won't really like ruin your schedule too much if you don't watch live. You can pretty much pick and choose when you and how you watch, but if you watch live, it is going to be an adjustment.
Also, if you have kids, I really enjoy watching SmackDown. My kids haven't watched Raw as much. Now it went to 2 hours, so a little different, but one that's a school night. So one of the good things about SmackDown on Fridays is it wasn't a school night and it ends early enough. Now you're pushing it another hour back. I mean, they'll still probably stay up and watch it, but there is a little bit of a negative in that regard too. So I it hasn't exactly been met with like rousing enthusiasm, I suppose.
Which is kind of crazy because I feel like for the most part, like anything WWE does gets a lot of rousing enthusiasm.
Yeah.
But this, people are like, no, but we'll see what happens. We got a very generous super chat also from Brian Watson. Brian didn't write anything, but still, thank you so much for sending this in. Always goes a long way. Thank you so much, Brian. We got Rudio in the house who says, happy holidays, Denise and Robin. I am masking up and trying to avoid the bug. I can't be sick right before Raw Netflix at Into It Dome. Dude, for reals, like it does not fit in our schedules right now. Rudio, thank you for the super chat. Man, I can't wait for the show. I still don't even know if I'm going to be there, Robin. I guess I'll find out at some point, hopefully in the next few days, because the due date is getting very, very close. So I'll either be here doing a watch along or I'll be at the show. I still have no earthly idea. Rudio, thank you so much for the super chat. We got Anthony Giuliano who says, I like polar bears and baby lions. You see, nice animals. Don't kill those.
A polar bear is nice.
Well, I mean, they're
I
nice
mean,
to look at.
when a baby lion grows up, you ain't want no parts of like a lion or a cat is the apex killing machine on earth.
I'm pretty sure a baby lion can still kill us.
Nah, I could take a baby lion.
No, I don't think so, bro.
Oh,
Baby lion comes at me, I'm done.
a baby lion. I mean, what are we talking about? Baby? Like what
Well,
age?
I don't know, but it's got teeth. And their
Yeah, it's
teeth
not
are
so
way
does
bigger than ours, and
so
they
does
got,
my
like,
dog Butter.
abnormal strength.
Nah, no, a baby lion is manageable. Uh,
I
any
don't think so. I
a
think you'll at least
juvenile
lose, like,
lion
out a finger or something.
a juvenile lion's giving you problems, and then an actual full grown lion, you got no chance. But I'm not being delusional. I could take a baby lion.
I can't take a baby lion. I'd be done. I'd be like, "Nah, dead, finished." Richard Martinez says, "At least we know if a giraffe broke in, it would walk out alive." It would. I would be thrilled if a giraffe walked into my house. I'd be like, "Yes, come on in, please."
Wait, what floor are you on?
I just have like the first floor.
Oh, you're on the first floor,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
plausible that a
It
giraffe could.
is
Yeah,
possible.
yeah.
Honestly, if I had like a big giant backyard, and if I was like rich enough, I would totally get
Wait,
like my
how
own giraffe.
how high are your ceilings?
Yeah, I don't think the giraffe would fit in my ceiling. My ceiling's not that high, so it'd be like
Okay,
crouching over.
so it's unrealistic that the
Yeah, it's very unrealistic that the giraffe will be comfortable in my home. Richard, thank you so much, man. We got my co-host from Tuesday's NXT post shows, Chinadu Agu. He's here and he sent a very, 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 very generous super chat. Chinadu, damn, thank you so much. He says this channel has truly been a stress reliever and a great escape from what been a big year of loss. My dad and brother being part of this team has been nothing short of an honor. Thank you, Denise. You're dope too, Robin. LOL. Much love. Chinadu, thank you so much, man. And earlier today, we did a meet and greet, and it's just a lot of people. The holidays is really hard, Robin, because everyone suffers loss and whatnot, and it's really hard. So it's really nice whenever you can have that moment to just be like grateful and gracious for what's going on in your life right now. So Chinadu, I know that this was a hard year because again, you lost your dad and your brother, but I'm so happy that you are part of the channel and that we've become friends. And I think you're a great person. So thank you so much. Seriously.
No, I appreciate the compliment. I don't know Chinadu at all. It hurts me to read that. So shouts to you for having gone through that, and like Denise said, we all deal with all sorts of different things in life. Everybody's dealing with something different in life, but when you take a pause, take a breath, and find the things that do bring you joy. So I appreciate that spirit that he's sharing there.
I agree. We got Lucky Charm here who says Triple H has been on autopilot since SummerSlam. Dude, I can't even imagine what it'd be like to run creative for WWE. Like, dude, the amount of work that takes, and you're just involved in every single aspect of it. It's a lot. It really is a lot. And you got to stretch that creative muscle. It's a lot.
Well, you also have to think about one, the exact point in time that we're in the calendar right now is basically when everybody mails it in, right? Like everybody's like, "Oh, I don't want to work, I don't want to be in the office, whatever, blah blah blah." So, not saying that they're mailing it in per se, but we know they have tent poles coming up. You got Raw on Netflix, which is a huge deal. You got the Royal Rumble, which is a top 3 PLE. You've got WrestleMania, which is the granddaddy of them all, right around the corner. So it only makes sense from a scheduling and creative standpoint that this would be the lull in the schedule. I don't even think it's fair to criticize in a sense. Like yes, you want to deliver a product, but did you come last week's SmackDown was not very good, but this week's was a good show. I mean,
A huge improvement over
yeah,
last week,
it wasn't like
honestly.
anything like, it's not like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen, all praise Triple H," but it was a good show, so I'm not,
Yeah.
like, mad at it.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. It at least gave us something to talk about. Thank you so much, Lucky Charm. All right. So before we continue on, or actually I do want to continue on and then I'll circle back to some super chats. But the other big thing that happened on the show, I had mentioned earlier, Sami Zayn defeated Carmelo Hayes via DQ. I didn't necessarily love the finish per se because we got to see, Braun Strowman get involved in all of this. So that was kind of, wasn't necessarily perfect. And then we saw the bloodline go out there and we saw the bloodline attack Sami Zayn. And we did get one cool moment, Robin. And I was so excited because I thought, oh my God, we are going to get Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu. They had this big stare down. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is going to be so much fun. Jacob Fatu, please take out Braun Strowman. Please take him out. And then instead, Solo Sokoa comes in and basically hits, or was it Tamatonga? One of them came in and like stabbed the back of the knee of Braun Strowman, bringing him down there. But it wasn't necessarily perfect, but that one big moment, that was pretty fun to see. But seriously, man, Sami Zayn, we were talking about, going out there and having to work during the holidays and stuff. Sami Zayn, dude, he has been going hard. I think he even went harder at the end of this year. But I did enjoy what we saw here for the most part. Again, I did not love Carmelo Hayes. I do think that Sami Zayn could have successfully defeated Carmelo Hayes, because Carmelo Hayes losing to Sami Zayn, in my opinion, is not a bad thing because of Sami Zayn's stature, and he's a great wrestler. And for the most part, we were getting a fine, decent match between Sami and Carmelo. So again, didn't love the DQ.
I didn't mind it too much because it did give us that Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu showdown, which was a moment in and of itself, even if it was cut short. And again, the Bloodline got heat. Once they showed up, they got that OTC chant going. OTC chant going.
Oh, that chant was freaking on fire, man. When Solo Sikoa was basically like getting the Ulafala being put on him, he was just like freaking all this massive OTC chants just came in and they kicked in so freaking hard. So yeah, it was good stuff. Robin, are you okay? I've been there. I know what you're
Sorry,
feeling.
I
Right
was,
now.
I told you I wasn't feeling, and like,
I was
I
like, poor
almost,
Robin.
I think I got the point in with the cough, like brewing
You
inside
did.
of my soul. And
You were
came
like
out.
that meme. You know that meme, when they say that you're too afraid to cough ever since COVID, because then people look at you and they think you have COVID and you're in public, so you try to hold it in and your face turns red, 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 red.
I mean, good thing for the mute button. I mean, everybody could see what was happening, but at least you didn't have to. I think the sound of it is worse than the sight of it, right? Like, you don't mind the
That
sight
was
of
my
it.
favorite Robin moment of 2024. You got to go back and watch the replay. You were just like,
It was like I could feel it. It was like festering. It was bubbling. It was like, Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu on either
yeah,
side of my larynx.
you got to like 40 Samoan spikes all in one.
Yeah. And then the OTC finally was released, and we're all good now. The original tribal cough. I don't know, but we got
Original tribal cough. That's so funny, man. But no, this was yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how they continue the Carmelo Hayes, Braun Strowman aspect of this, because again, I want to see both of these guys come out on top. And we need to recircle back to Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu. I'm sorry, but we need to circle back to that because they left me hanging on this one, and I was really waiting for this moment to erupt, and then it just like I was left there going, "Oh man, I really wanted to see that."
Yeah, but I think it works, and I think they will. And here's two reasons I like it. One is, say what you will, but Braun Strowman has been elevated a little bit again, right? Like what happened with Bronson Reed, and there was a period of time where he kind of lost his luster, maybe. And I'm not saying he's main event right now, but he does feel like, okay, the monster of all monsters. Like, he feels like a major presence. So when he comes out, it's like, oh shit, it's Braun Strowman, right? And then Jacob Fatu has reached this level where there are a litany of people you could name off, and if he's staring across from them, you're like, oh shit, right? Like, that's the level he's. So Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns, oh, they're staring off. Oh, Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes, they're staring off. Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman, they're staring off. There's a lot of if you got it with Drew McIntyre, there's so many different ones that you could name across the roster. Where if you got that stare down, it would make you feel a certain thing. That's the way that Jacob Fatu has been elevated, and he still hasn't been really fully unleashed in those scenarios yet. Like, we've seen him, and he's had big points in matches, but most of that has been ensemble. There are still so many Jacob Fatu moments in the chamber that they've sort of teased, but that can still be released over time.
I think we've gotten more teases than them actually executing in the matches, because I'm telling you, I feels like I've been saying this every single week. Like, my list of Jacob Fatu matches, like, it's starting to look longer than Santa Claus's naughty and nice list, because that's how many moments we've gotten moments here and there. Great, love that. But I want to see the matches, and I feel like we've been hanging on a thread, sort of waiting for all of these to culminate. But I feel like a lot of it has to do with, just the stories they're telling, right? Like, they're going one direction with people, with certain names and going a different direction with Jacob Fatu. And once they get Jacob Fatu in that like United States championship picture or that intercontinental championship picture, any singles championship picture that they get Jacob Fatu in, that's going to be an instant for the crowd. The crowd is going to want to see Jacob Fatu get his hands on singles championship. And I feel like if they want to have other people have their go at it, you're not going to want to see them wrestle Jacob Fatu because the people are going to want Jacob Fatu instead.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see exactly where they go with it and how far they elevate him and how long they save, like, him and Rome, these various scenarios and matches. But I can't complain with the job they've done because they've made it feel like a big deal almost anytime he's involved in anything.
Yeah, they really have, man. Like I'm telling you, that moment, you're just like, come on, Jacob Fatu, let's go. We want to keep seeing it. All right, but let's go ahead and press on to some of the other items that went down on this show. I do want to go ahead and get into, and this was something that was brought up here by our next super chat, and this is from Terrence Johnson, who says, "Come on, Tiffany, just cash it in already." So today we got Naomi and Bianca Belair and Bailey all teaming up. They took on Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax, and Candice LeRae. During this, so first of all, we had a promo from Nia Jax, and she was talking shit to Bianca and basically saying that she knows that she's the one who attacked Jade. So glad she mentioned that because we know it's not Bianca. So I'm glad that they put that out there. But during this, she had even said, "Oh, and it's not Tiffany Stratton because Tiffany Stratton doesn't have it in her to, could do this kind of an assault," right? So throwing another jab at Tiffany Stratton. This is what they've been doing, throwing jabs at her left and freaking right. So they're setting up that Tiffany Stratton babyface turn where she's going to cash in on Nia Jax at some point. Now, during this matchup, though, we do end up seeing Tiffany try to get her cash in again. I was talking about this during my watch along, but we've had at least 6 different times where they have teased Tiffany Stratton cash in that she's going to cash in her money in the bank, and it doesn't happen. I feel like they've done it one too many times now, just a little bit. But again, she doesn't do it here because Candice LeRae goes in there and is like, "What the hell? What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" And this then, of course, leads to Candice LeRae taking a pin from Naomi, who ends up winning the match for her team. So that come next week, they're gonna come out and they're gonna be pissed at Tiffany Stratton because she's the reason that they essentially lost this match.
Yeah, I mean, they've sort of been planting those seeds for a minute now, right? And that kind of feud. But I'm with you. We need to see it. You can't give us pink balls all the time about the possible cash in. But the one thing I will note, did you hear the crowd
For
when
what part? For Tiffany's cash in?
yeah, when
For the
when they
tease?
thought she was gonna cash in?
Every time the
Yeah.
crowd is ready for it because I think she feels just more like if the championship was on Tiffany, I think it would feel more alive because that's what we're all waiting for. Like we all know that Tiffany is going to be the champion. We're all just waiting for Tiffy time, her season to begin.
And then what about a big match with Bianca Belair? Tiffany
Dude,
Stratton, Bianca
I was
Belair.
saying like Tiffany, I want to see Tiffany and I know we've seen Tiffany and Naomi a whole lot, but I still want to see that again. Tiffany and Bailey is another one. Tiffany and Nia Jax is another one. Tiffany and I just feel like there's a lot that can be done there.
Yeah, and but the crowd is ready for her. Not It's not even just they're ready for the cash in, they're ready for her to cash in and for her to get that championship. And I don't think it's long now. I mean, I think the teases have been too frequent and too high in volume for it not to be leading to the actual cash in. So I'll forgive it being overdone a little bit if they don't make us wait like, months. If it happens by the Royal Rumble kind of, timeline.
It's happened at almost every single PLE since she won the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've definitely done it a lot. We got the dead man of RWT, Paul Morales, who says, "Thank you for today. And OMG, thank you for the beautiful message after. SmackDown going to 3 hours can help with more stories, but new and continuing ones." Of course, Paul, sending you lots of love. Seriously. Lots and lots of love. You are a good one, Paul. And in regards to SmackDown going to 3 hours, With more stories, I hope so. I really, really hope so. I want the show to feel jam-packed. I want the third hour to feel necessary. If right now, if last week we had a third hour or this week we had a third hour, I would not be happy about that. Like these last 2 weeks have not been necessarily the best examples of needing that third hour. So I'm hoping that with the shifting of the talents, this talent open portal, whatever they want to call it, I'm hoping that with that, the show can feel like the third hour is welcomed. Like it's not just a nuisance to have.
Yeah, I mean, look, the cynical point of view is more advertising dollars, right? The network gets another hour, you can run more commercials, you can run more sponsors, all that stuff. And can you actually deliver to the audience? That's the challenge. And for the most part, WWE for they have there's always peaks and valleys, but I think over the last several years they've really delivered for the audience, so they get the benefit of the doubt. And both of you and I have a little bit of a doubt. Obviously, we already discussed it on how it's going to play out, but let's see what they can do with it. Let's see why the third hour. You have to show me why the third hour makes sense.
Exactly, exactly. We got Blinging with Kimberly. Thank you so much, Kimberly. She says, I work at an airport. I met Jay Uso and he gave me a signed shirt and sunglasses for my son, and then FaceTime my son. What? That is
Yeah,
fucking awesome,
that
dude.
that would my son Raj would lose it if he got FaceTimed by Jey
Yes.
Uso.
Wow. No, that's really freaking awesome. I can't believe it. That's very, very cool. The fact that he went out of his way to do that is just very, very nice. Kimberly, that's a really cool story. And I'm so glad that that happened for you and for your son. And keep killing it at the airport, man. I know it's busy work and it's constantly working nonstop at the airport. Must be fun though. I've always wanted a job at the airport. I love the airport. Have
You
I
love
said
the
that?
airport?
I love airports. Yeah, I'm that person. I love airports. I have the best time.
I wanna be in an airport for as little time as possible. I'm the one who's like people are like, "Let's show up 2 hours early." Why?
Robin, don't you okay, do you know the saying? Like, okay, so I'm Mexican for those of you who do not know. Mexicans show up like at least 10 hours before their flights. That's an exaggeration, but we show up very, very early for our flights. Like it's
What's
a
the
thing.
why is that? What is
We're
the
afraid of missing our flight. Like we got to
okay.
show up on time, and on time means like 5 hours early. Like you don't know, like you don't understand. Like if a flight leaves at 12, like let's say 12 p.m., like oh man, 7 a.m. I got to be up and going. Like let's go.
Right.
I don't want to miss my flight.
See, I don't wanna be nervous or anxious about missing the flight. I'm not that. I'm not like, like I'm running through the thing. But, I want to have, like I wanna get there, get through all the process, and have no more than an hour, like, or hopefully less than an hour to wait before I'm actually boarding. But my last flight experience was pretty rough too. I was on the tarmac for like 2 hours before we
Oh,
even
that's
took
the
off.
worst. When you're already there and they keep you waiting even longer, that's the worst. But I love airports because, first of all, it's like this hub where everybody could go to any part of the world. And it's so exciting. And you see all of these people, and everybody has like a different story, right? Like some people are traveling for business, some people are going for fun. And I like to see that. Like, I like to look around and see where everyone's going and what the
Mhm.
conversations are and what people are saying. And what I also love about the airport is that you can eat anything you want at any time and no one can judge you because you're at the airport.
Yeah, that is true. Like, if you want some General Tso's chicken at 6 a.m., it's cool.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Yes. So, anyways, love the airport. Kimberly, thank you so much for the super chat. And that's a great story. Wow. So we got an incredibly, incredibly kind super chat. I can't even believe it. Heidi Ho, who has been a regular here for a long time on the channel. You are too kind, man. You are too kind. Heidi Ho says, I never get to watch the live anymore, but I always watch the replays. Just had to drop a love bomb. Hashtag DWO for live. Heidi Ho, I don't even know what to say to you, but you have been very, very supportive of this channel for a long time, and that does not go unnoticed. And you have no idea how much a super chat like this does for this channel, and just it does so much. Heidi Ho, thank you so much, and I really do hope that you get the generosity that you gave to me. May it come back to you in some good karma, some great karma. Thank you, Heidi Ho. We got Joe Compton here who says they did the same thing with Damian Priest. His cash in was memorable. I just say let them cook. All good things are worth the wait. I don't feel like they did as many teases with Damian Priest though.
You know what though? I think he might be right in a sense where if the cash in itself is memorable, you forget the premature ones. Right? Like
Yeah.
that's really what it's all about is so if you stick the landing, no one will forget the stumbles that happened before, right? Like once you perfect the routine. So I feel him on that. And ultimately like is it like a terrible thing that like she didn't cash in? Like am I mad? I guess I really shouldn't be mad.
Oh, I even thought like for a second, I'm like, nah, that's the thing though. Every single tease that she has done, every single cash in attempt, I've legitimately thought each one was that. Like that was it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. Like they can't do it anymore. Like this has to be the one. Every single time. And I think that's the appeal, right? To make you think that it's gonna actually happen.
And it was a strong position, the way Nia Jax was laid out tonight too. So it was a prudent cash in if you were Tiffany Stratton.
Kimberly here says that she was in Orlando. She's in the Orlando airport, so she gets to see a lot of wrestlers. I know this to be true because when I went to Orlando, I checked into the hotel that they have inside the airport, and the girl was telling me how she sees wrestlers every single time, and she's the receptionist at the hotel. And she was basically saying, like, that's pretty much all we get is wrestlers. So yes, I 100% get that. All right, we got Ryan Adams here who says, well, I'm also hoping for a Tiffany cash in. She's from my home state of Minnesota. We still haven't had a failed women's Money in the Bank cash in. We haven't, and I don't think Tiffany is not though. She's not going to be the first. She's not going to be the first. It's going to be somebody else down the road, but it ain't going to be Tiffany Stratton. She's gonna be the top star, guys. Like she is going to be Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley level someday. She's going to get there. It's just a matter of time and obviously familiarity with the WB fans and the stories that she's in and how she does. I mean, look at her, the reaction she was getting at the Elimination Chamber when she wasn't even like she was brand new to the roster and people were already reacting like that for her. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, no, she's already there essentially. She just needs that coronation moment more
Yes.
than anything else.
Yes. Yes, that star-making moment, but she definitely has all the ingredients, so you know it's gonna happen. Ryan, thank you so much as always for the love and the support. We got Dan Lutzka here who says, I can't wait until Kevin Owens versus Cody. I wanted it for Monday, January 6th Netflix, but we have to wait longer. I knew it wasn't gonna happen for the Netflix one just because they already have so many big matches that are happening. But I did think it was gonna happen for the first SmackDown of 2025. That's where I thought they were going because right now, SmackDown feels like the forgotten child. It's like nobody's even thinking about SmackDown right now. I mean, instead, they're kind of dreading it with the 3 hour news versus Raw. You're looking forward to it and you're excited. And SmackDown doesn't have that same feeling right now.
Yeah, and it sucks because I mean I'm here doing the SmackDown show, so
Yeah. Dude, or you're like, we want to be loved on SmackDown.
I want to. Well, and SmackDown has felt very important for a very long time because it's contained the Bloodline and Roman Reigns. So it would, I understand all the hoopla around Raw and Netflix. It makes perfect sense, but you don't want it to treat SmackDown like the stepchild. And we've seen it before where a show has become second rate or forgettable, and one is just so clearly the flagship versus the others. And I hope that doesn't happen with SmackDown with this. And it's going to be tough to sell that with a 3 hour show too. So maybe for the first few weeks of Raw on Netflix, and then things settle a little bit. But I'm hoping that that's not the case for SmackDown long term. That it is forgotten like that.
I feel yeah, I feel like that. I feel like it shouldn't be, and I feel like that's why they added the 3rd hour so that they can have what they already have on the show, which is your generic, whoever you have on SmackDown, your roster, whoever. And I'm thinking maybe that 3rd hour will hopefully be used in a way that has purpose. So we'll see what ends up happening. I hope that SmackDown doesn't suffer with that 3rd hour. The good thing, the pro that it does have for it is that we're going into WrestleMania season, and WrestleMania season always just hits harder. People just love to watch wrestling during that time period. So hopefully the 3rd hour contributes to it instead of taking away from the show, which is going to be it's going to be seen as the B show because all the stars and all the hoopla and all the attention, the hot chick right now, the prom queen is Monday Night Raw on Netflix.
Well, and look, Netflix is having its moment right now with that sort of they just had the NFL stream. Well, they had the Jake Paul Mike Tyson thing they caught a lot of flack for because of this, but I knew they would get their act together as far as
They
the
did.
upbringing. They did for the NFL games with 25 million viewers or whatever. Beyonce, I think 27 million viewers. So, um this is all leading up, and they promoted Raw on Christmas Day with those NFL. I think CM Punk was there, so all of that is just they paid a lot of money. This is a big deal, so of course it's going to be a big deal, and you only get one chance to make a first impression. So everything's going to be fully loaded and let out for Raw on Netflix in January. So I don't have any complaints about that. It's just beyond January. Not to say that Raw should ever take a back seat either. You want them to feel like two tentpole shows, which they have for a minute now.
I feel you. Dan, thank you so much for all the support. We got Paul here who says the one thing we've said time and time again is that a third hour needs to be exciting, especially after sitting for 2.5 hours. BTW, when Tiffany does cash in, that it needs to be OTT exciting and worthy. Oh, 100%. And I think the moment will come in terms of like the way that they like, here's the thing right now, Nia Jax has been, rude to her, right? Been throwing all these rude remarks to her. This kind of reminds me of Otis and Chad Gable. Remember how pumped people were when they were waiting for Otis to turn on Chad Gable? If we got to a situation like that with Tiffany, where people are just like, please, Tiffany, already. Damn it. We're tired of the way Nia Jax is treating you. Do something. Grow a backbone. Come on, Tiffany. We're on your side. I think that would be really cool. So at some point, they're going to have to turn the knob up. They're going to have to turn the volume up when it comes to the way that Nia Jax is treating Tiffany, where it's not so subtle anymore and it's a little bit more harsh. And you are going to want Tiffany to be like, that's it. I'm done with you.
Yeah, I mean, look, and but that sets up what you want is the a big time confrontation. I mean, that's Money in the Bank. To get that, and I think that's a good contrast to styles too. Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. I think they're going to work really well together.
I think so too. Paul, thank you so much, man. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the Chelsea Green celebration. All right, so this one was okay. This is funny because as we all know, Chelsea Green, well, she's Canadian, so but she's doing the whole, red, white, and green. And so the whole entire celebration basically looks like a political celebration, right? She's got red, white, and blue everywhere, and she's got a podium with her face on it. And Piper is dressed to the nines with this green dress that she has on and this big white little fur that she has on. And Chelsea just goes out there and she's basically talking about how she made this huge accomplishment. She's using all of these like political terms, which I thought was really, really funny. And just when you thought she was going to like name Piper her first lady and really, put her over, she starts describing the person that helped her out, the person who got her there. But no, it ends up being Chelsea Green herself. So poor Piper Niven is kind of left out in the dust here, but she doesn't seem to mind it right now. She was hurt, but she doesn't seem to mind it. So at first I thought, oh my gosh, is Piper going to turn on Chelsea Green at some point? Like, is this them planting the seeds? Probably is, but at the same time, it's not totally there yet because Piper didn't look like she was upset. She just looked like, oh, wow, that's Chelsea Green. That's who she is. But I thought this was fun. It didn't go a tad bit too long, the promo. I think at one point the crowd was kind of out of it. I think when she started talking about Michin, I think that's when the crowd kind of stopped paying as much attention. But when she was making all of these little remarks and funny bits about, the United States and stuff like that, I think that portion of it, the crowd was really into. But then when she started talking about like Michin and all of that, I think that's where they lost the crowd just a little bit. But Michin does come up. She's completely oiled up. She gets in there with her kendo stick and ends up beating the life out of poor Piper Niven. Piper's just not having one. She's not having a good time.
Well, just like I shouted out Nick Aldis, let me shout out Piper Niven because I thought her little intro promo was very good. I like
Oh,
the
the
whole like,
tallest, the
yeah,
sparkliest.
the longest reigning was my favorite. Obviously just created, but yeah, I thought Piper Niven did a good job there. Chelsea Green was right in the character, and I agree with you. They're planting the seeds. I don't think there was too much more to it than that, but it served its purpose.
Yeah, it definitely did. So now I'm wondering, like, they're going back to Chelsea Green and Meechin, but I don't want Meechin to take the title away from Chelsea already. I want to see Chelsea, go a little longer with this. I love this bit, this whole political bit. I love it. It's hilarious, and I want them to keep it going. So part of me is going like, huh, are they going to have Meechin like take the title off of her so fast? I kind of hope not.
Well, she could also do she could do it in a scorned fashion too, or and keep it going the other way. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, but I think that Chelsea Green character is very malleable without the title or not. She can feel wrongly, screwed out of the championship and keep it going that way, or she can be arrogant with the championship. Regardless, she'll always be the first ever, and that is probably the most significant thing about winning it in the first place.
So we got like really one more thing to get into, and it is, let me see, the Street Profits defeating Los Garzas, Alberto and Angel. Any thoughts on this? Because mine is really just simple. I kind of want to see the Street Profits break up. Unfortunately, they've never done anything with Berto or Angel. Like they always treat them like jobbers on the show. They're never going to get a win. And same old with this. And for me, it's not really anything different. This was the part of the show where I was thinking, even though this match wasn't terrible, don't get me wrong, but this was the part of the show where I was thinking, do we really need those 3 hours? I don't know. We really need those 3 hours.
I forgot it happened. Yeah, Montez Ford, sink or swim time. Let's see what he's got. There was a period of time I think he was thought of as the next main eventer. That's kind of gone away, but that doesn't mean it can't come back. So let's throw it into action and see what he's got.
Yeah, I feel you. So those are really like the biggest moments of SmackDown that we got. We also got Braun Strowman defeating Austin Theory. Another thing, I think they need to break up Austin Theory and Grayson Waller already, which I feel bad because I don't really know what they would do with them next. Robin, are you kind of over this, or do you just not even care? Because that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, I don't care, but like break up, stay together,
Yeah.
but it just isn't really going anywhere. Like there's been really no movement on with A Town Down Under so far.
Yeah, and I was feeling Grayson Waller specifically
Me
for
too.
a
Me
little while,
too.
but it's kind of gone away. So, but that does, if he had it, it means there was something there. So that can probably be recaptured. Unfortunately, I'm not sure it's ever going to be there for Austin Theory.
Right, right. We have Sarah here who sends in a super chat. She says, "Thank you, Denise, for getting me through my uncle's passing since he passed away last night. So glad for the DWO next Friday after the funeral." So Sarah, she was talking to us. She shared this on one of the other watch alongs that we were doing. It was about her uncle, and it's been really hard. I think there's been just a lot of loss. It's the holidays. It just makes it even harder. It's harder any time of the year, but of course, in the holidays, it's just even extra harder. But Sarah, I'm so sorry to hear because she had told me on past watch alongs that her uncle had gotten his last rites. And so now, unfortunately, he's passed. Sarah, sending you and your family a lot of love during this time. Been there, know exactly how hard it is during these times, and it's just I don't know, take it. The only thing we can do, right, is just take it day by day and remember those memories so that you can keep that person alive and then just be there for the rest of your family. Like that's all you can do. And we just got to keep, moving forward. But Sarah, sending you lots of love, seriously. And thank you for being part of the DWO, seriously. All right. Well, let me see where I am here. But yes, I do want to read this from Mick Diesel who says, "Look out for each other, guys." Yeah, it's we all got each other's back because we've all sort of at some point have gone through something like this, and it is very, very hard. So switching gears, next SmackDown is going to be the first 3 hour SmackDown that's gonna happen next week. I think I'm doing a watch along. I don't know, Robin. I haven't committed just yet because it's a
Mm.
big commitment. I mean, regardless, my whole thought process during this is I'm still going to be here watching the 3 hour SmackDown live. So I might as well do something while I'm doing that. So I don't know yet. I haven't decided. Keep an eye out for that. Of course, tomorrow, Reg and I will be live for AEW World's End. So if you guys want to come hang out and watch the show for that, you're more than welcome to. And then still bumping out daily videos for WrestleMiss. A lot has gone up. A video that was very popular was if you are an AEW fan, we did AEW Jeopardy, where Will Washington was on, Phil Lindsay, Righteous Reg, and myself. Very fun video. Got in lots of great feedback for that video. So check it out if you're into that sort of stuff. I might be doing a Kahoot this Sunday. I haven't decided. Keep an eye out for that too. But just kind of want to put that up in the air so you guys know at least about it. Robin, what do you got going on right now?
Yeah, catch me over on Robin Lundberg show on YouTube. Women's Fast Break on SI. I run covering women's basketball. And according to this text I just got, Denise, I got to respond to it, but it looks like you and I are doing Busted Open together tomorrow.
What? And I just found out right now.
I haven't hit the reply to confirm yet, but
Wait, are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I'm on a thread right now, and the thread is my producer and Mark.
Well, according to I don't know if we should air all the business on the, but according to a text I received from one person on that thread, the ask is
Yeah,
out in my direction.
I'm literally sitting here right now reading my messages, and I'm literally in a group chat with Mark and Zach. So I'm so confused. Whatever. I may see you tomorrow morning, Robin.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, it's too funny. Joe Compton says hashtag righteous reg for this stepdad lol. Long story short, Robin, Reg wants a shot at my mom. So
Oh my
that's where we're
goodness.
at right now. That's the plot of the story of where we're at right now.
Righteous Riz.
Oh my God. Yeah. Joe, thank you so much. It was great meeting you earlier today. Guys, there we go, everyone. That was our show for today. Again, we'll be back here tomorrow for World's End. Have an awesome Friday night. I got to go to bed so I can wake up early for Busted Open. And it looks like you are too, Robin. All right. We'll see you guys later. Bye, everyone. Take care.